Henry Ford was an American industrialist who revolutionized factory production with his assembly line methods.
3, 2, 1.
Whatever your mind can conceive and believe your mind can achieve.
Job is not your work.
Making millions isn't a movie. It's the same moves over and over until the world claps.
My name is Natasha, also called the branding genius, and I help early stage brands like yours get clear, look consistent, and get noticed, all without a full-time marketing team. Ready to scale your brand? You're in the right place.
Welcome to the place where we move from clarity to cash flow. We are a family of entrepreneurs that are looking to level up their standard of living and scale their brand. To start this show off, we are going to be studying a man named Henry Ford in a section we are calling What Can We Learn From Them? I have an article written here by Carol W. Geldersman on the life of Henry Ford. Now, this is what the article says. We learned that Henry Ford was the founder of the Ford Motor Company. According to this article, Henry Ford was an American industrialist who revolutionized factory production with his assembly line methods. He was celebrated as both a technological genius and a folk hero. According to this article, when Henry Ford left his father's farm in 1879 for Detroit, only 2 out of 8 Americans lived in cities. But when he died, a proportion of 5 out of 8 Americans actually lived in the cities. Here's what stood out for me from the article. These are the words of Henry Ford. I will build a motor for the great multitude. So he proclaimed this in announcing the birth of Model T in October 1908. Now this is what I can learn from Henry Ford. So when I read the summary of Henry Ford's life, we see that Henry Ford was a man that actually loved people. He was a man that was genuinely concerned about building a car that would not only get the rich to the places that they wanted to, but it was going to help even the average American who could not afford a car. Many people have approached Henry Ford in trying to build a company, which he did. He got incorporated, but then his aim was to perfect his model and ensure that it was actually ready for the consumption of people. I feel like this stood out so much for me about Henry Ford because we learned that men of integrity or men who actually prioritize serving their customer get what they want. So Henry Ford ended up, building what is known today as Ford Motors, which is one of the biggest brands in the world, literally. A guy that came from a farm or a place that was just a normal area to actually building one of the biggest brands in the world. For me, I feel like the biggest thing that I can learn from Henry Ford is genuinely offering value to people. His biggest concern was about building something that could help the average American. And I feel like that's why people loved him. For me, he was called a revolutionary because of what value he offered. Obviously, he ended up being rich, he ended up being incorporated, and he ended up selling so much without even a lot of marketing strategies or anything like that. He simply prioritized serving his customers as his biggest aim. That is a reminder to people like you and me who are trying to build their brand and who are trying to scale their business. At the end of the day, you want to make sure that your priority is your customers. You want to make sure that you are providing genuine value for your customers more than you are giving anything else. That's where most entrepreneurs today miss it. And I've heard so many people say this over and over again, and now I'm starting to believe it the more that I grow my business. It's that you need to provide genuine value. If people don't see how their life is going to be before and after they encountered you, then there's no point. If they are not living feeling better than they came, you are not providing the value that you need to be providing to your clients. You are not being like men like Henry Ford who actually prioritize serving their customers. So that is the thing with being in a business. That's the thing with entrepreneurship. You need to ensure that you prioritize your customer and you prioritize giving value to your customer. And basically, that is what I can learn from this story. Moving on to the next segment, in relation to Henry Ford, I recently wrote a book on customer service, and I'll be giving free copies out to you guys. My book on customer service aims to address the person behind the business more than it does the practicality of customer service. So for me, I give a perspective that customer service is not just about smiling, it's not just about looking good, it's not just about saying the right things. Customer service is about how you show up in your business. How exactly are you valuing your customers? You say you value your customers, but what value are you actually providing to them? What are they going to come to you for and feel like, okay, you know what, I should have been here earlier, like this person has got the solution to my problems. And I feel like that's why your business must be centered around solving somebody's problem. Immediately you begin to solve somebody's problem, you also begin to find it easier to scale your brand, because you are providing genuine value and people will always pay for value. That's just the thing. You need to focus more on the value that you are giving. If your business is not moving as it is supposed to be, if you're not growing, ask yourself, is it that I am not providing the value that I should in maybe how I present my product to my customer? Is my product actually serving my customer? Apart from the product, in my content, am I giving genuine value that somebody would want to come back to me for? That's my perspective on customer service. So customer service is more about taking a walk in the customer's shoes. Basically, that's what my book on customer service emphasizes. So moving on to the next segment, I am calling this segment Pick It or Leave It, because in this segment I am going to be telling you life hacks as an entrepreneur and the things that you genuinely don't need to leave on the table if you are going to move from clarity to cash flow. This week's life hack is having a genuine concern about humanity and how you can serve them better. Now, every entrepreneur needs to be concerned about humanity, care about making the lives of people better. The more you make the lives of people better, the greater they are going to pay you for the value you are offering. The greater the value, the more the payment, and it's simply that easy. So you need to ensure that every time you are coming up with a new product, every time you are speaking about your product, you are giving genuine value and you can understand that the value is genuine. Most entrepreneurs today suffer from the problem of trying to make money more than they serve. So the more you serve your customers, the greater the value you are going to get from your customers. It's just that simple. I always take this approach. I ask myself, would I actually buy this? If this was me in these shoes, would I be willing to spend money on this product? If your answer to that question is no, then you probably don't want to put your product out there. When you listen to your content, if you ask yourself, if I was my viewer, would I genuinely want to listen to this? Would I listen to this for a long period of time? Would I binge on this content? If your content is not saying that, then you probably want to pivot. You probably want to try something different. That's the thing with entrepreneurship. The more you serve your customers, the more the paychecks are going to come in, the more they are going to be willing to pay you. So move from trying to make money to trying to offer value. I have another segment which I'm calling Words of Wisdom. Now, in this Words of Wisdom, I'm going to be reading to you a review about the books that I feel like changed my life, or the books that I feel like every entrepreneur needs to have in order to scale their brand. For this week's episode, I am going to be reading something from the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. Now, this is what Dale Carnegie says in his book. If you want others to like you, if you want to develop real friendships, if you want to help others at the same time you help yourself, keep this principle in mind. Become genuinely interested in other people. I am genuinely interested in this book. If at all you have been struggling with your customer service or scaling your brand, I highly recommend this book. I've learned so many principles that I didn't know I needed, and so crazy how it talks about winning friends, but it's so applicable to business. I've picked up so many concepts from this book. They're timeless. They are simply timeless. So you guys should pick up this book. You guys should read it. I highly recommend it. At Clarity to Cash Flow, we don't just care about you moving your business from clarity to cash flow. We want you to stay sane while doing it. And we understand that this world is a difficult place and you have to navigate so many things. So we have come up with a section that we are calling on your feet. Now we want you to stay on your feet as you scale your brand. And in today's On Your Feet segment, I'm going to be reading a post by Leila Hamosi. She is one of the people that I look up to, and I love her work in business. It's so inspirational. I love what she talks about, and you guys should listen to her. Leila Hamosi posted saying, life hack: find a partner who believes in your delusions more than you do. And a comment by @digitalwithcc says, be picky on who you marry, y'all. And I can't agree enough. Be picky on who you marry. Your life partner is everything. If you're going to stay on your feet, the person that you're with every single day should be the person that empowers you. You want somebody who encourages you and who makes you a better person at the end of the day. So that's basically it for today's episode, and this is going to be the format that we're going to be using for our episodes from now going forward. If you want to move your business from clarity to cash flow, please follow us and subscribe for more information and more value to you guys. Please like this video if it helped you, and share it with a friend if you think they're going to need this information. So don't forget, don't procrastinate, and just do it.